Good morning, afternoon, or evening. Today we are going to learn about how to multiply integers together. Is the product going to be positive or is it going to be negative? Find out today by paying attention to my lecture. So we'll start with something easy. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. What's that equal? You probably already know. But let's go through it the way we do with the number line. We'll go to the right to get to that first number by drawing an arrow to the 2. Draw another arrow, and another arrow, each of them going 2. And we end up with 8. Isn't that awesome? So, why did I make that way harder than it needed to be? I'll tell you why. Because there's another way to write this too. Can you think of another way to write this that might be more efficient using a different operation? If you said 2 times 4, you were correct. If you said 4 times 2, you were also correct. So, that's still stuff we know. Let's look at something that we're not as familiar with, just from this last module. Negative 2 plus negative 2 plus negative 2 plus negative 2. Say that 10 times fast. So first we're going to get to our first number, drawing a line to that negative 2. Plus negative 2, adding a negative, we're going to the left again. And then we're doing that same thing 2 more times. Now, what's the other way we could write this? Negative 2 times 4. All right, and that's going to equal 8. That blow your mind? So negative 2 times 4 equals 8. You're going to see the same kind of problem in multiplication written several different ways. Since we are getting into the higher grades, we're going to start writing multiplication a little differently. So 4 times negative 2, still same thing. 4 times negative 2 right there with the parentheses. Negative 2 times 4, the order doesn't matter in multiplication. You already knew that. So if we switch this to 2 times negative 4, does that change things? Let's test. We go to the left, negative for negative 4 once, and we do it twice. So it does not change the final answer. All right, so here are some examples of 2 times negative 4. If Fib dug 2 4-foot holes, he would have stolen a total of 8 dirt cubes from Bob. If a fish swam down 4 feet 2 times and they started at sea level, they're going to end up at negative 8 feet for their elevation, 8 feet below sea level. If the temperature dropped by 4 degrees 2 times, let's say it dropped by 4 degrees at 6 a.m. and then dropped again by 4 degrees at 7 a.m., then it's going to drop a total of 8 degrees. So to review, 5 times 5, you know this. This is a positive times a positive. Pretty easy. What about a positive times a negative? Can you figure that out? You said negative 25, you were correct. How about a negative times a positive? What's that going to be? Negative or positive? That is also going to be negative. Remember, in multiplication, the order does not matter. So how about this one is actually new? We haven't talked about it yet, but can you guess maybe? Negative 5 times negative 5. Is that going to be 25 or negative 25? So it's actually going to be 25. So a negative times a negative is going to equal a positive. If you understand these 4 situations, a positive times a positive makes a positive times a negative makes a negative times a positive is the same. So it also makes a negative, and a negative times a negative will make a positive. So if you know those 4 different situations, I'm going to put this picture on Google Classroom so you can look at it when you need it for a reference. You know the key to understanding the entire universe, or at least getting a good grade for the next week. See you next time.